First off, rest in peace, neighborhood Nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, B. Cannon, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
Come at you with time.
I'm gonna say he was frozen, bro. What's going on, good people? Y'all already know who it is. It's your three. Nah, it's your two favorite guys, but you already know who it is. It's your boy Hill. Hill gonna hear regardless, baby. Who I got with me?
Mr. Super Bowl bound. Hey, you know what? It ain't even. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me Mr. Told You So. Feel motherfucking good, goddammit.
Oh man, I got Cannon. He had prior engagement he had to handle. You know what I'm saying? I think he was really ducking that 222 smoke.
The Commander fan extraordinaire.
Commander fan extraordinaire. HTTC, hell to the Commanders. Shouts out to him. You know what I'm saying?
My man.
It's funny. You know what's funny? I'm gonna keep it real. I did a lot of joking on it. I was waiting on this moment, since they made that fake ass announcement. The name really not that bad, bro. It's not that bad. It's the fact that they took 2 years to come up with it.
Yeah. I don't think that. I understand that there's things that need to be done as far as the NFL when you have to give them the name and put your changes in so they can put uniforms in production and all the legal paperwork and all that.
2 years?
But to unveil the name like this, after 2 years, I feel like that is what took some of the luster off. If you would have been like, hey, in 2 years, we finna be called the Commanders, I don't think it would have been this big of an issue. We going to go by the Washington football team just so we can get off our uniform, get the other stuff off our uniforms and move on and stuff like that. Then I'd be like, all right, that's cool. But to just
2 years?
That's what I'm saying, 2 years. And I think
I understood the first year. I really did understand the first year.
That's what I'm saying.
It was short notice.
That's what I'm saying. The first year saying, we getting we going by Washington football team just to change the name and get this disrespectful name off of our uniform and off of our brand. But then as soon as you figure it out, be like, hey, we got a name, y'all. We going by the Commanders.
They could have easily went through, like I said, the next year. We could have got that next season.
You could have unveiled it at the end of last season just to be like, hey, give me something to look forward to right before the draft last year, something. But
and it would have been exciting for that fan base, like you said, you coming off the playoffs. Everybody was hyping, and you were supposed to win the NFC East or contend for the NFC East. Everybody had high hopes for the team. They didn't have to go through a whole nother year as a football team just to unveil this. This was terrible planning. I'm confused. We're dealing with we're dealing with billionaires. You didn't have to delay the process of getting uniforms. You mean to tell me getting uniforms was going to take this long? Getting licenses for the name was going to take this long? This didn't have to take this long.
The uniforms look different, but they don't look that different where it had to take this amount of time. And where we've been, sending jokes and saying, their PR team is the worst and the marketing team is the worst and stuff like that. But did you see the video that dropped for the release of the uniforms? Did you realize that they were still using the plastering the R word all over the video? And it was literally It's not just like y'all changed y'all name just because y'all wanted to rebrand. You changed your name because it was racist.
Yeah,
But to have it all over your your new promo video, to me, that is such a lack of oversight. Like what are you doing? Am I tripping?
nah, you're not tripping. Definitely tone deaf. Completely. Like it's just like you said, this is the worst PR team ever in the NFL. Like this is ridiculous. Like
It's extremely
it's laughable.
it's
It's
tasteless.
really laughable at this moment. Like
Like
they lucky I got all my jokes out like this morning and like seeing all the jokes and all the memes and everything. They really lucky and they lucky that I'm tired from work that I really want to keep my shit off. Like
bro, yeah, this is.
you know.
I'm about to say this. I'm saving all the energy I have to get to power
Yeah,
through this
folks.
episode.
Yeah.
But man, listen, I was watching the video, and then I just saw it everywhere on. I think Ron Rivera had it on a shirt. It was some other some old school players had it on a shirt. They had a little girl with it on. They was like, and okay.
It's
I
like they
know,
completely forgot why they, like you said, why
like
they
why they
changed the
changed
name.
it, and even still, they had the old uniforms and stuff, and they were showing the helmets. But even still, you didn't have to just go and like if you're gonna show the old uniforms, there's still ways you can do it without going in and having like updated photos and people like in the now wearing it. Was I think Ron Rivera got there and then the name changed, right? Or was he even was
Yeah, yeah,
so
he was there. Like you said, he was there the off season once it changed. Like all that changed, and he
so
got there new regime.
why does he even have a shirt that says it on in the video? Like no one noticed this? Like, hey bro, we could go ahead and just not use this. I'm sure you
Yeah,
have
this
plenty other footage of Ron Rivera.
yeah, this makes no sense. Man.
Yeah, this is just
But on a lighter note, Commodore's gonna Commodores regardless, man. It is what it is. And since I said that, y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3 Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3 Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. This is episode 140. And on a brighter note, Tom Brady has officially retired. I'm gonna say he retired on a high note. Like I know his
yes.
team lost. I know his team lost, but he individually went out on the Tom Brady performance. Like he brought
Bro,
his team back. Like
I'm not even gonna say on a like it wasn't on a team level he didn't finish on a high note. Like they made it to the playoffs and were pretty close to getting to the NFC Championship.
yeah,
Mind you, it's not easy. Like Tom Brady has made everyone think that it's easy to win a Super Bowl, but
correct.
it's not. It's not easy to win a Super Bowl. People acting like he went out and he was looking like Big Ben and could barely throw the ball down the field, and his team was carrying him and they were winning in spite of him. No, he wasn't looking. He wasn't looking like, "Hey, bro, it's time to hang it up." He wasn't
Mm-mm.
going out there, and people were just like,
Yeah, the MVP season.
"Yeah." People weren't looking at him like, "Yeah, this is probably your last year.
Yeah.
You might have stuck around a year too soon, 2 years too soon." No,
Mm-hmm.
nobody was thinking that. In every game that he played, everybody was like, "Oh, nah, Brady cooking." Just Brady looking like he can do this. He ain't looking like he's slowing down. So to me, that's going out on a high note.
Yeah,
I don't
and like
like
you
you.
said, that team was getting blown out that game. He brought that team back in Tom Brady fashion. This might have been one of the years like we've seen him in like his latter years in New England. Like I'm like, damn, bro, like you looking old.
Mm-hmm.
He had times last year. I'm like, bro, you looking old.
Yeah,
I don't recall saying that this season. Like I'm like, I don't recall saying, damn, bro, like Tom Brady look old right here. Like
and
he
you know,
actually looked refreshing. Like he looked refreshed. Like this is like you said, this is retiring on a high note. Like
and you know what I think it was. I think he was making it through the season not looking old because when they changed that offense for him, it didn't put him in those situations where it's just like, yeah, let me see you throw the ball 3 yards outside the numbers on an out route. Let me see
mhm.
you do all these things. It allowed him to use his timing, his smarts, where, even on deep balls, it was more so, you know, get back there, do 3, 5 step drop, and just let that thing go. You don't have to put a whole bunch of, line drive on the ball. When you throw it deep, it's a little bit different than trying to throw it on a line with timing and speed and accuracy on the out route. So those 9 routes look a little bit easier. Those seam routes look a little bit easier. Stuff over the middle, he's smart enough to do it. And but they kept the field compact for most of the time and just allowed him to use his smarts. So I didn't think he
But
would end up looking, cooked. Because remember what I was saying about Drew Brees? It looked like Drew Brees was grunting every time he was trying to throw the ball
yeah,
this
but
last season.
we knew, but he was like you say he was done. You
He
know,
was he was cooked, yeah. And I
yeah,
think
he was
that
cooked.
offense that he was in still was kind of trying to continue to be the offense that it always was. Even Sean Payton made some adjustments. It was still kind of like, hey, we got to push this ball. And he was at a disadvantage where he's, you know, he a normal person height. He ain't,
Yeah,
6'4". He ain't that type of quarterback. So it was just a lot
Hit-
more.
but their deficiency, like you said, was more so physical. Like
Hmm.
Drew Brees was, it was the physical of him that couldn't get this offense going.
Right.
Same and like you said, and you can look at Pittsburgh, like Big Ben, like man, your physical tools are deteriorating. Like
Hmm.
you're done. It's like we just didn't see that from Tom Brady, especially this season, because all the points that you just said, he had a full off season. You got to remember, like when he got there, it was a COVID off season. Really, was, abbreviated. He couldn't really get, he was trying to go to high school, trying to get some time in with his receivers. Like he had a full off season this year for them
Right.
to actually figure out to get that blend of a left switch offense to a Brady strength. Let's blend what you were doing well in New England, what we do, risking no biscuit over here. So which benefited everybody, because it's going to benefit Leftwich in the long run when if he finally gets a job. You know, that's for another day. But like I said, shouts out to Brady. You can say what you want to say about Brady. You can have your preference on who's your favorite quarterback of all time. But when you talk about the actual GOAT, there's really no debating. Tom Brady has that title, and it's everybody else. Like I said, you
Exactly.
can have your personal preference on who you prefer as a quarterback, who you think is the better quarterback.
Right.
Like I said, that's personal preference. I understand that.
Absolutely.
But when we come to GOAT status quarterback, he has it. He got the records, he had the accolades, he got everything that you want other than, physical tools as a runner or whatever. It is what it is. Brady's the GOAT. Argue amongst yourselves. Like, we
Exactly.
can
And, like we've all, well, me, I don't argue with people when it comes to that GOAT conversation, because once again, to me, once you have your GOAT, you're set in stone. So,
hmm
is, hey, whatever you think is what you think, but you can't deny the championships, you can't deny the things that he's done, and you can't deny the mark that he's, left on the NFL. And like you said, even if it's not someone you didn't like Brady, you got tired of Brady, certain things you just gotta respect. And you gotta respect the winner.
And that's what happened. Like I said, a lot of people were tired of Brady. They were tired of the Patriots. Hell, they were starting to get tired of the Bucks already. So that championship fatigue is definitely a real thing. I mean, and Breeze hate from the fans that's not winning. I mean, it is what it is. But we can move on. We got the recap and NFC Championship, AFC Championship game, and the trend is continuing to continue. It's been the best playoff that we've seen in a long time, possibly the best playoff we've seen ever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm
These
definitely
games.
not. I'm not gonna let you be biased and say because your team is, still playing and going on to the championship, the Super Bowl. Even if your team lost, bro, this has been the best playoff we've seen. Like I said, Cannon has said it. We posted the meme. Like this is not hyperbole. This is not gas. This is not living in the moment. This is not none of that. None of that you want to say. I think this real life has been the best playoff we've seen in a while, or like I said, or ever.
Yeah, and and not necessarily just because it's like, I think this is one of those where it's entertaining, not necessarily always just the best football being played. But it's just outright entertaining. Like, And I'm gonna, for personal reasons, I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
It's like that game to me kind of came down to what you thought it would be.
Go ahead, expand.
Because it's like, to me, the mistakes, it was like who was going to outlast, like who was going to make that big mistake. Because, although Stafford has been playing well, Stafford has been, he's made some critical errors during this season that had people like, hey, it wasn't just Detroit. Stafford, he has his flaws, and he still does, and it showed. But it was who can outlast it and who can win. It almost looked like it was about to be who can win in spite of their quarterback. But what I do want to, I know. But then as the game went on, it's like, okay, nah, like it's a good game. But what it kind of changed for me, it changed from the quarterbacks. It went to the coaches.
Thank you. That's where I was going.
Like, to me, Kyle Shanahan has been a part of some of the worst, like the biggest comeback losses in the NFL, whether it be the 28-3. Who was that? He had another comeback. Was it
Super Bowl?
the Super Bowl? Yeah, the Super Bowl with the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, the Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and then now, and he made his fatal flaw again that he made, where he just stopped running the ball and trying to, protect his quarterback. Stop putting the ball in your quarterback's hand when, he's going 1 for 6 and what was -3 yards. Like, bro, you gotta at least try. You've learned that. Let me put, like, even when you had a quarterback that you did trust in Matt Ryan, you just didn't run the ball. Like, that helps. It does burn the clock, and I'm gonna get to that in our game as well. Like,
Okay.
you gotta try. Like, when you have those moments, it's like, if you running a play and you passing and it's incomplete, that's what, 5, 6, 7 seconds off the clock, and it's that.
Can I stop? Can I interject right here?
Go ahead.
Is
That's what
this
we're here
is this were these your thoughts throughout the game when it was happening live throughout the game, or is this hindsight?
for. So for
I
me, it was like, you know how I get, like, sometimes, like, hey, when shit not working, I'm like, hey, you gotta stick with it, because like I say, sometimes you don't always just have to run to open up the pass. You can pass to open up the run sometimes. But to me, it's like, this ain't working. But your bread and butter to me is that tree that you've come from. Everybody knows you are a mastermind, and that Shanahan running system, you can put almost anybody back there and they're gonna get 1,000 yards. You have a weapon in Debo. It's like, put him back there, just let him get some touches. And to me, when Jimmy's not completing passes, you're not getting Debo the ball. You're not getting George Kittle the ball.
But
I think you have to manufacture those touches somehow.
But primarily throughout that game, in the beginning of that game, Jimmy G was clearly outplaying Matthew Stafford at that time.
Yes.
And when they got critical at the time, I think the mistake that I think you're giving criticism to Kyle Shanahan, which is rightfully so. I think it's unwarranted though. I think he took the reins from Jimmy when Jimmy was actually cooking, and he threw the rhythm off of the entire offense. The running game was non-existent. I mean, I don't say non-existent, but they were really containing the running game the entire game.
Yeah.
Jimmy was cooking. You had a 17-7 lead. I understand your bread and butter is running the game, and you know running the ball, and you can get out of this game. The 4th and 2 that they didn't go for. Now I talked to my guy. I talked to our guy, Fourth Man Reef. You know what I'm saying? And heavy 49ers fan. That's who I get some of my insider information from. He was definitely mad at the time that they did not go for the 4th down. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him that same exact question. I'm like, is this hindsight, or did you feel this way during the game? He was like, no, I wanted him to go for it during the game because at that time he felt Jimmy was in rhythm. You took Jimmy out of rhythm when you didn't go for it. Me, I'm saying it's hindsight because once again, I have no dog in the fight. Because once they punted, bro, Matt Stafford gave you a gift. He gave that man a gift. That was that looked like a punt. Like that was one of the worst passes I've ever seen him with that arm talent that he had. That might be top 5 one of his worst passes ever. And he gave that man a gift.
It made me think he might have been hurt. Like I've never.
And I think Troy said that during the game. Like, yo, is he hurt? Like, what type of pass was this? What type of pass was it? That was a gift. That game could have been ended. Like I said, it's easy. Right. It's easy to blame Jimmy G. And Jimmy G is a punchline. You waiting on Jimmy G to Jimmy G. But that game should have been ended right then and there by that interception. And then after that dumbass penalty, right after that.
Yeah. And to me also, you know, dropped interceptions. That was a gift. But also, I don't always necessarily say that because there have been plenty of games where interceptions have been dropped that could have sealed a game.
Oh yeah. But that interception,
right? But to me, it's like, okay, you know, not to, you know, do the hindsight thing because that's what we're going against. But think about it, the Jalen Ramsey, like Jalen, you expect him to take that to the crib, and he don't even. It hits him in his shoulder pretty much. You don't even get a hand on it. So you look at it like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's almost just like, it was almost like, all right, that shit just canceled out. It was almost like go ahead.
No, the Jalen Ramsey like should definitely come on now. Come on, you highest paid corner. We paying you to get that. We paying you to get that, especially when you don't get a lot of balls thrown at you. Pause. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to get that
what you come up with.
But we've seen DBs drop those because at some point it's a reason why you're playing DB. We understand it's a reason why you're playing DB. Bro, when we get to your game, we know Von Bell got bricks for hands, bro. He made an interception, and that interception was way harder than
I'm gonna get to that one. How you compared it to Tart though. Or you want to go?
No, because at the same time, like I said, Stafford fought in that game. Like I said, the game was looking out of reach. The game was looking like it was about to be lost. And it really wasn't, you know, if you was watching the game, you really couldn't blame Stafford for the loss. It looked like it was more so a team loss and more so like I compared them. I'm like, bro, you really just cannot beat your big bro. Like at this point, you just can't beat him. But he grabbed his nuts, made some throws, found Cooper Kupp every time when it was time. And I just don't understand. Like I just don't understand. Did they know he was the Triple Crown like winner? You know, like some of his touchdowns, like bro, he's open. Like how?
Yeah, I don't understand. And you know, it's just to me one of those things where it's like when you see stuff like that, where you see stuff with Cooper Kupp, you see stuff with Devontae Adams, you see stuff with these wide receivers that everybody knows, like this is the guy.
Like I know y'all been talking about this all week.
Like, it's like, how did you like? What are they doing different that just allows them to get open so much? And that's what is so frustrating to, you know, to me as a fan of a team where it's like, why can't we do this?
I'm not even gonna say it because it's no point for me because I can take over the show if that was if I was gonna.
That was literally my point. Like when you look at other teams, it's like, why are you just telling your best player to just go out there and just win his route, and you're not doing anything to make it where, all right, I'm gonna get you open to get you the ball.
I'm gonna give us some credit to that first touchdown when Cooper Kupp ran that corner route. I mean, the nuances of that corner route that he ran that's textbook. That's something that you show your wide receivers in wide receiver school, the way he ran that corner route. And I'm like, okay, I can see how you got open on that one, bro. Cause you killed everybody because you were double teamed because that safety was over the top, like you said.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you know, that game, and I think you said was what was the first statement? Something like is what we thought it was going to be, how it ended. Some
Like,
in regards to that.
I just think that it was kind of not just how like it ended or anything like that, but I just felt that it would be a competitive game, and I think
Yeah,
it was gonna come down to who made the like that critical mistake.
and it
And
was I mean your third time playing a division
yeah,
opponent, bro.
and
Like
and once again, we all know it. That's hard. It's hard. Divisional games are very, you know, they're always
tough.
going to be tough. They're always going to be close, and no one's out of it. And so I wasn't. There was never a point when I was watching that game where I was like, "Oh, this team got it."
Oh, it was a point. I definitely thought the 49ers had this game.
I didn't think there was because to me it was still like, all right. It was also a little bit of like this, like they have a lead, but coming off of my game, I was still kind of like on an emotional high. So it was just kind of like, "Hey,
You
this
were
shit ain't over."
like shouts out to the Rams. Shouts
Yeah,
out to the
definitely.
Rams. Shouts out to the 49ers. The offseason for both teams will be interesting,
Hmm.
but we can deal with that when we get there. But like I said, shouts out to both teams. More importantly, shouts out to the Rams. Like you said, this is what you paid for. Like you said, you gave up multiple assets for this moment to get you to get you in this spot. You know, you are here. Now the job is not finished. Go ahead, finish the job. But like I said, but this is why you did some of the moves, a lot of the moves that you made to get to this moment. You're at this
Absolutely.
moment. Now the
And once
job is
again,
not finished
yeah, like we said before, it was always going to be Super Bowl or bust for the Rams.
for sure.
That was the minimum.
But you can't be you can't you got to get there. Like you said,
Yeah,
and you got there, like you
you got
said.
it.
So kudos to y'all. Like you said, kudos to the Rams. Hey, who they?
Who motherfucking day? When I
Hmm.
say this was the most stressful game
Yeah,
for me,
we
yeah,
stopped texting.
yeah, it was. I was going through it. I
Yeah,
definitely was
I
going
had
through it. Hill had to talk me off the ledge a couple of times because that first, it pretty much like the first quarter and a half,
hmm
I was just like, okay, this is different. This ain't the regular season. This is playoffs time. It ain't the number one seed, but it was that team that everybody just looked at as that team to me.
it looked like they was trying to get revenge, right?
Yeah,
All right.
it looked like just like I said with the last game where it looked like Patrick Mahomes kind of heard like, all right, I got to show up because y'all putting too many people in my category now.
hmm
It was like, okay, he took that first win and he looked at us like, okay, I got something for y'all.
Don't worry about it.
And boy, did he.
Hmm
Boy came out smoking. We had no answer. I like it looked like it looked easy. It literally
hmm
looked like he could go anywhere he wanted and everything was gonna work. And it was the typical Patrick Mahomes shit. You had
hmm
people dragging across the field. You had him scramble out of the pocket, them broken play scramble drills, just like the touchdown to Tyreek, where he came across the back of the end zone. You had Kelsey, they out there dancing and shit like that. I'm like,
hmm
oh no.
Man, man, Jared McKinnon has unlocked the dimension in their offense that we haven't seen since damn near Kareem
I'm
Hunt.
I'm gonna get to that too. I'm
Uh,
gonna get to that
but
too.
before we get to that, your
Yeah.
boy Cannon was definitely almost 2 for 2 with his predictions or fortune telling or
Yeah,
his comeback time. Because as soon as he's text comeback time, y'all scored, and
exactly. And
things
literally
change.
and literally that I believe that was a Samaje Perine screen in
Yeah.
the second quarter. That's like, a lot of people would talk about, oh, I didn't think that they would be in until that halftime, like that stop right before halftime. that is when I actually started being like, okay, we can do this. We just got to get some stops. And for me, so like, because for me at first it just didn't look like shit on our like on offense was clicking,
True.
and so it was like, if we can't get shit on offense, this shit is over for real. Because I can't bank on them to stop them every single time, and then we not scoring. Because what's the point? Like, because we know what this team is. We know who the Chiefs are on offense. They're an offensive team.
Yeah.
If they defense is locking us down, oh, we in for a long motherfucking day. And
But I'm gonna go before. I think when did CJ get hurt?
CJ got hurt. CJ got hurt in like the first quarter because I think it was like his first target over the middle. He came down awkward.
Yeah, and he's the team leader. The rah guy, the emotional guy. I think that kind of derailed y'all right quick. Like, damn man, our guy's hurt.
But
Football is kind of like that. I think let's get to the nitty gritty though. That
second
stop at
quarter,
that stop at halftime was the changing point of the game.
oh no, that was the changing point in the game. Don't get me wrong. I just said for me personally, when Samaje got that touchdown, I'm like, all right, we still in this.
Yeah.
But after like for that play before halftime, I looked at my mans and I looked at them. I said, "Oh, they playing with their food."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
And that's what they do. The thing that you love Andy Reid for, the aggressiveness, the creativity, the going for it, having faith in your guys.
Yeah,
because it's worked. It has worked before,
right.
But that's also the same thing that gets them, that bites them sometimes. That play,
We saw it
like
with the
y'all was in the
Ravens.
red zone.
We saw it with the Ravens before, where it's like, "Hey, you guys want to go for it? No, just go get the points, bro." Don't sometimes like, yeah,
Just go get the points. Like I said, I understand that could have been the knockout blows. It could have been the blow that said, "Hey, look, y'all really cannot hang with us. Y'all cannot. Y'all not in our class." It was the fact that they was in the red zone and they stalled. It was like, just get the points. Just take the points and just get out of the half.
because if you look at it, we play like that was in the first half. That to me, that was the very first time that we basically had the perfect defense for their play call, because he wanted to go quick over the middle to Kelsey. It was gone. It was too many hands in there. Ball could have got tipped and got picked. So what he should have done, he should have just ate it and just threw it on the ground and left with some time. But trying like the for him, it's like his mentality is such a make a play, make a play, make a play, when it's when it's something where it's like, okay, if you don't see it, get rid of it and then live to fight another day. He didn't think of that, and it's just like, oh, make a play. And
the same thing that we love Patrick Mahomes for, the gunslinger mentality, the playmaker, to extend the play and throw a 90-yard bomb and all that. That's something that bites him too.
Yeah, he didn't know how to harness that at that point in time, and it cost him.
I think the frustrating part about y'all. I think the frustrating part about y'all, and I know you hate it, and I know most Bengals fans hate it. Y'all definitely take too long to make adjustment. And I know it's frustrating, but I knew that stop right there was the changing point, because I'm like, they just got to get to halftime. And they just got to get to halftime and they can make their adjustment, because y'all are known to make adjustments. What I've known from y'all, watching y'all all year, texting you during the games, is like y'all just need that time to just really take the time to get the adjustment. In-game adjustments is really not as easy as us and the couch really make it seem like.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I know it's frustrating. Like, come on, bro, just check him, just do this. And I know it, but the moment that they got the halftime and they made those adjustments, bro, those were two different teams on both sides of the ball.
So for me personally, the halftime adjustments for the defense, I was kind of questioning what they were doing in the first half, because second half of that regular season game, what worked for them, they didn't do in the first half of this game. Because remember,
Correct.
they put Trey Flowers on Travis Kelce, and they kind of did a high-low and had Cheeto travel with Tyreek, and gave him safety help over the top. But it was pretty much we gonna put you in man, but give you safety help over the top, and then we're gonna just crowd the middle for everything else.
Yeah.
They did not have Trey Flowers on Travis Kelce. They either had Mike Hilton on Travis Kelce, or they just had a zone. And what does Travis Kelce always do? The same reason why all tight ends always kill us. He's just gonna find the soft spot in the zone, turn the fuck around, catch the ball, and then make the first tackle or miss. And that's literally what he was doing in the first half. Like, he had Jesse Bates sliding all over the place. He had Mike Hilton sliding all over the place. And I'm like, that was the frustrating part to me, because it's like, yo, you're literally not coming into this game with the notes where you held them to 3 points in the second half. The first game, you're not doing none of that shit. Second half come, Flowers on the field. I'm like, okay. And then I see 3-man rushing and a whole bunch of other people in coverage. Trey Flowers on the field, 3-man in coverage. But Pat, he back there like, I'm like, what the fuck? We couldn't do this all game.
Because that's the game plan that you can't do all game, bro. Like, it's something that you cannot do all game. You can't rely on just say, Trey, I need you to go get me a sack every. Like, you're the only one that's gonna get us a sack this game. It's the fact that I think that now it's whoa. Don't get me wrong. I'm not about to applaud this strategy, because it's like a rope-a-dope strategy.
Because this could have kicked our ass.
Because I don't think that he was. I don't think they was anticipating the offense to start off as slow as they did.
And that's
what I'm saying.
That's where I really want to get. I need to get that.
So I get, like I said, I understand. Like, okay, we'll show you this right here. You get off, you start feeling yourself, and boom, then we're gonna hit you. It's. I think it's similar to I think they say Belichick does it. Like, he has 2 different game plans for a team. Like, this is the first half game plan. This is the second half game plan. So it's dangerous, because it definitely almost got y'all blown out. But it worked. But go ahead.
For me, when we talk about adjustments, I just don't understand why we start slow on offense every single game. That is the frustrating part to me. Even it's like you have the opening script. It's almost like our opening script, like it's terrible. I don't know what he be thinking. And we start off, we don't like with the running game, we start off running duo instead of the wide zone. We do duo ISO instead, like just running. And Frank Pollack came in saying he wanted to do a whole bunch of wide zone, and we stray away from it so much. Joe Burrow has come in and started to do a lot of under the center stuff, but when he prefers to be in the shotgun, empty sets. But we put him under center because that's one of the ways to do run the wide zone. If you're not gonna run the wide zone, put him in shotgun. Let him read the field, what he does best. And Joe Mixon can run the ball out of shotgun too. And if the shit that you try to put in as your new game plan is under center, and that shit don't work, at least go to something where your quarterback is comfortable.
Yeah,
I just don't understand it, and
it definitely doesn't make any sense when you continuously doing it, like you say, when it's continuously not working. So I'm definitely familiar with that territory. But like I said, I'm not about to sit and let you complain. Like,
I'm not complaining. It's a little bit of foreshadowing where it's like, we can't do this shit next week.
Yeah, I understand. You can talk about that next week. But like I say, you're supposed to be happy. Like, I was like,
absolutely.
Definitely don't go back to your old, Bengals ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, if trying to poo-poo, like, this is a moment right here.
I am extremely fucking happy. I do, like, one thing that I've been calling for is Hakeem Adeniji. I needed him out of the starting lineup.
Correct.
Because his floor is higher than Jackson Carman, who we drafted in the second round. Yeah. But I don't know by how much. They say he's a little bit more consistent. But to me, it's like, Jackson Carman came in. Guess what? Samaje Perine go off for a big screen. The running game seemed to be a little bit better when he was in the game because he has a little bit more power and he can anchor. And to me, it's like when you're going against somebody like Chris Jones, when you're going against somebody like Aaron Donald, when you're going against
Jeffrey
someone like
Simmons.
Jeffrey Simmons, like
Yeah.
you need somebody with that power shit. Like, bro, in that Titans game, I seen Hakeem Adeniji just get blown back. Like he was
Slipping and sliding.
parallel with the ground, just getting his ass whooped. To me, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, bro, I need Jackson Carman in there. I'll take his mistakes if he don't look like that. But
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go ahead and get in. That's intricate right there. We can
yeah,
get
we'll get into
in
that next.
depth. Yeah, we got next week. Cause like I said, Canada be back. We'll get our score predictions and break down the Super Bowl and give it everything, give it all our thoughts. But like I said, shouts out to the Rams. Shouts out to the Bengals, man. Who they, man?
Who they, man?
Shouts out,
Who would have fucking guessed it?
it's going to be a great game. This may not be you might not have thought this was going to be a matchup whatsoever. Who cares? It's still going to be a great game, and it's no way for it's no way for the playoffs that we had so far to get a dud now. Like, nah, we're not going out like that. So
Yeah.
let's keep this exciting. Let's put the icing, the cherry on top of this best playoff we done seen so far. So we done had some coaching hirings happen so far. Giants hired Brian Daboll.
I thought it was Brian Flores.
Thought that was that's what he thought, right?
Oh shit! I fucked this up. We'll get into that.
Yeah, they got Matt Eberflus. Got the Bears job, and Josh McDaniels getting another shot with the Raiders. Let's start off with the Bears, man. How you feel about that hiring?
Man, it's a little bit iffy. I mean, Eberflus, to me, I think he's a really good defensive. He's a good defensive guy. So I like the hire for that part, but I just don't know how things are going to work out. Like, I still want to know his plan for Justin Fields. I think the team is going to be decent. I think they have a good shot to really be competitive in that division. I don't know if it's a hire that's going to make me be like, oh yeah, y'all can compete for that division right now. Because to me, it's still like I still think the Vikings have more talent. So I still think the Vikings have a better shot of finishing 1 or 2 in that division. I think they're going to lose some wide receivers. I think it's really about what the scheme that they bring in for the offense. I think Eberflus is going to get a lot out of that defense. But even still, I've seen defensive coaches come in as a head coach, and the defense don't be holding the end of the bargain. So it's just how involved is he on the defense? What is his scheme going to be for Justin Fields? I think long term, I think it has some potential. I think it's an okay hire. To me, it does.
I like that.
To me, it didn't come off as like a slam dunk hire.
I like the hire. He might not have cranked it like Vince Carter, but he definitely it was a rim graze dunk for me.
Did he hit the back of the neck?
He might have no, he just one handed, like a warm up dunk, like a warm up, like I said, I'm familiar with him. He came from Dallas. He was handcuffed in Dallas because he was technically the defensive coordinator, but he didn't get he couldn't run his full, repertoire in Dallas because he still had to, cater or deference to Ryan Marinelli at the time. That's why he really left, because he wanted full, autonomy to do what he wanted to do on defense. He go to the Colts, he take that Colts defense, to I think the best.
Yeah,
he reached their ceiling with that defense. The defense was trash before he got there.
Absolutely, and it was one of those things that it was like for a while it was they were perennial,
Yeah. So think about so if you think about the Dallas defense, and you like, damn, I mean, bro, like when was the Dallas defense ever good till Dan Quinn got here? We had some time, we had some flashes. Like if you speak to Dallas fans, we never wanted him to leave. Then you get the Colts and you see what he did with that defense. So the pieces that he had in Chicago. you should think that he should come in and have this defense going together. I think we talked about coaches before. Cannon said one thing, like, I don't want my coaches to stick to one thing. Like, I want my coach to be multifaceted. And I understand that you would hope for, you want an offensive guy to stick with Justin Fields, get the best out of Justin Fields, but this is a team. Like, it's more, and I know the quarterback is the most important piece of the team, but it's more than just the quarterback.
You know,
And I think
I'm
that even
self-serving on
Flus,
that because I just want Justin Fields to succeed.
and I understand, and
Yeah.
I mean, so do I. But I think that the fact that if you did, like I said, the way they conducted their interviews, and if even Flus was the best guy out of everybody that they had interviews with, then you go with your best guy. You figure it out after that. And if he can galvanize the troops and lead men, that's what you really want. You can figure out your offense. Like I said, he's bringing in a couple pieces, and then hopefully when they finalize, we can definitely expand on that. I like I said, I like him. I think he paid his dues, and you know
Yeah,
how I feel about new coaches that pay their dues.
100%. I
Do you
believe he
do
paid
you
his dues. So
do your thing?
I'm not
And
saying he's he got the job unjustly or unwarranted.
mhm,
I'm never saying that. I do think
yeah,
he's qualified. I do think he has put in the time, and I do think that what he has put on his resume qualified him to have a job. So I'm not saying that at all.
and your feelings is warranted, because I seen our guy Andy. He was on the show with Walt. He wasn't really you know that excited. He wasn't mad. I'm gonna just say that he wasn't mad,
Yeah,
but he kind of felt like you. You know,
it's like
he kind of felt
okay,
like you. So let's see
it's a
let's
wait.
see
It's,
what he
it's
let's
a wait.
let's
It's one of those wait and sees. Like, all right,
yeah.
I'm gonna give you some
So
time
we
and see what
so
it
we
is.
can see. So let's move on to the Giants. They made. No, matter of fact, we can go to the Raiders. Go to the Raiders first. So the Raiders did what Raiders do. They gotta bring in a big name. They gotta bring a splash.
Yeah,
Per se, whatever. They don't really think about the football aspect or the team aspect first. It's more so the bigger picture, the grand scheme of things. Yeah, the
right.
Al Davis way. And the son is running the team. Like father, like son. So they go get the Patriots again. They go get the Patriots GM, from the tree, and you go get Josh McDaniels. Now, say what you want about Josh McDaniels in his first coaching stint. It was terrible. No way to poo-poo that. It was terrible. To me, I do like the hire though, for this reason. If he can bring that same exact offense that he was running for years in New England, insert it with this personnel, I believe that this could work this time. Derek Carr is one of those lovable, friendly guys. Like, you can't get mad. Like, who can really get mad at Derek Carr? Personally, that's what I
Exactly.
mean.
And
Other than his play, you see he throw a stupid intersection, but like, man, I'm sick of this guy. But personally, he's one of those personable guys that you can like in the room. You can get
man,
what you can work with. So I think
I
that
was a
that marriage can fit.
I was a I was a Derek Carr fan. I think Derek Carr got a lot of unwarranted hate,
You know
with the
how I ride
media
for
and
him.
his fan base and stuff like that. Seeing how he handled Henry Ruggs and how
Hmm.
he handled the John Gruden situations made me like, you know what? I really fuck with Derek Carr. Just as when I say on a personal level, it's not like I know him, but on a personal
Yeah.
level, like how he handled that and how you know he is on the field, it was like okay, you know, you seem like a good dude. And then watching him against us in the playoffs, I'm not I have all the respect in the world for him. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think it's not every day that you find an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, one of those guys. Sometimes you have to you're not gonna always have a top three, top five quarterback. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're gonna have a 7, 8, 9, 10, top 12 quarterback. And
Hmm.
that's okay. You can win with that. But
Hmm.
they need a little bit more than
Hmm.
you will one of those top tier guys. And I think he's just right on the outside of that top tier. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can win with that. And
Hmm.
I listening to you, I was really coming around on Rich Bisaccia should have got a chance.
Yeah,
I was really coming around to think that because of how that team responded to his messaging.
and how the players reacted. They like I said, the play like that's why I said
Yeah,
the
the
owner
team
doesn't
lost
really
like a
understand with the
yeah.
team. He just the team aspect was ready to ride with Rich for at least, like I said, at least give him 1 year. You know,
Come back, and let's see. Hey, see if you can get another wide receiver in here and see how that offense could go now. With a little bit more, um, firepower around them. You get Darren Waller, fucking Hunter Renfro, looking like a young Julian Edelman or something out there like that. It's like,
that's that's what I'm saying. Insert what everything that y'all was doing in New England. Insert it with this person in. Even Braylon Edwards may find something. May find something. You see what
Brian,
Zay Jones doing? Zay Jones is
Braylon Edwards is long gone. Brian Edwards.
Brian Edwards. Same thing. That's how trash you are. But Zay Jones, Zay Jones gonna get you 2 pass interference a game. You know what I'm saying? They got something going. Like you know what Darren Waller's gonna do. You know what you got in Josh Jacobs. It's like you're at this point. If you're Josh McDaniels, you can't mess this up. Like this is what you wanted.
If you mess this up, I ain't gonna say it's his last shot because who the
It's
fuck knows?
back to the ghetto. You get, but you really shouldn't mess this up, Josh McDaniels. Like, come on now. Like,
I believe
the GM. You have a relationship with the GM. Y'all should be able to get the players that you want. The players there is already a good foundation. You should be able to build on something. You should be able to build on something.
if Josh McDaniels doesn't work the second time around, do you think teams will stop trying to pluck off the Belichick tree?
No, but they haven't learned yet. So why would they learn? They're just not going to learn. They keep going to get GM from his tree.
Yeah.
Has that worked?
The whole time, we've always said he's the GM. Belichick is the one who makes these moves.
And I don't think he's a good GM. I think he's a great coach, and the fact that he can mask those errors that he made as a GM. And I know it's hard to grasp. I know that's hard to grasp, but if you really think about it, it's like he's that great of a coach.
He's not a good GM. He's almost a good player. Like he's good with the money management. Like if you're like he's good at assessing your value to me as a coach. So the moves that he makes make it seem like he's a good GM. He's just good at, all right, I'm gonna assess your value. Can I get someone to do what you do for cheaper? If I can, I'm gonna do that.
Because like I said, because his greatest asset as a coach is getting, putting you in position to do what you do best. And
exactly.
Put you the best to see. So if he like say, damn, I messed up, like you trash, but like you do this good, I know I can put you in this position to at least do this part right.
Exactly.
It like I said, it's weird, but like I said, they're never gonna stop. Everybody's been chasing the Patriot way and really not understanding the Patriot way. And like you said, you cannot do the Patriot way without Belichick. Yeah, you can't do it without Belichick. Exactly. Do it your own way. It is what it is. All right, the Giants, they made a hire, which was
fairly
a
surprising.
good hire. Not surprising whatsoever.
Okay.
It was surprising. It was more so surprising last year because, like I said, I had Brian Daboll as one of the number one coaching candidates last year, and he turned down quite a few jobs, I believe, some good jobs that he turned down. I cannot remember the jobs that he turned down, but I was surprised that he went back to Buffalo as an OC again.
Did he turn down the Chargers job? I want to say, or was Staley their guy from the jump? I felt like people were talking about him to the Chargers. Like I think he was rumored to the Chargers.
I know he interviewed everywhere last year, and it was certain jobs that he just I can't remember right now, but I think he turned down some quality jobs, and it was surprising once again like that he didn't get a job. So fast forward.
I think this is a really good hire on behalf of the Giants because I think offensively, I think he'll be able to implement, some really good things. And I think I won't necessarily say he has a track record, But I will say he's done some really good things at some of the places that he's been. And I think he has a lot of, because, to me, one of my biggest things, like if I'm going to hire a coordinator,
Yeah.
what are your ties? Like how long have you been in the NFL? Because can you build a staff? And I think he has enough ties in the NFL, like the football world. I think he'll be able to, put together a really good staff. I believe they're keeping their defensive coordinator on staff, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. I think they're keeping Patrick Graham. Yeah, I
So
believe I read that.
if they're keeping him, the defense wasn't the issue. You're keeping some continuity there. You're keeping one of the same voices in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he'll be able to do offensively is going to help. I don't believe that there's any fixing Daniel Jones, but at one point it looked like there wasn't no fixing Josh Allen. So, I'm not going to say that, but I think he can do a lot of things. They have like that offense. That offense is not like the cupboard's not bare. I
Yeah,
think
it's really not.
cupboard's not bare, and to me, it should be no excuse.
Well, technically, the cupboard shouldn't be bare, but it's a lot of injury-prone people on that offense that affects that makes
was
it look
supposed to be my
like
thing.
it's bare.
Exactly. So to me, I think if they could fix the offensive line,
Mm-hmm.
if they can fix the offensive line, and they can just build some depth.
Yeah.
If they can just build some quality depth in there and maybe get in, another free agent or two. I'm sure, if Brian Daboll sees some free agents leaving the Bills, he's probably gonna, put a couple flares out on them and try and see if he can lure them down, down south to East Rutherford. But
Yeah.
I think this is a team that could make some noise. I think with this hire, I think this is a team that can make some noise if it's what I think it is. Because I think Brian Daboll is going to be able to put together a staff.
Yeah.
And so
I believe so.
I think it's going to allow them to actually have some competent things go on the offensive side of the ball. To me, I don't think Joe Judge had that.
When you said it wasn't a slam dunk in Chicago, I believe this is a two-hand dunk in New York. Like you said, you get a guy that he's familiar with. We brought him assistant GM from Buffalo. You get a guy that he worked with, so they have the chemistry, they have a rapport, and they can figure out, okay, this is what we need to do to fix this right here, or this is what we need to do to bring him in. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to change. And we seen everything that went wrong. I think everything that could go wrong, with the Giants, let's say offensively, went wrong. Daniel Jones definitely has a injury history. It's not extensive, but it's always he's missed games his entire career, every year. He's missed multiple games. Let's just say that. So he has that. So I mean, he has tools. Let's just say he has tools in his toolbox. Does he know how to use those tools? No, he hasn't had the proper coaching or assurance or something.
I think it's coaching, because to me, the fact that he just is so careless with the ball sometimes, to me, shows me sometimes I think a coach hasn't been able to really get through to him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, because he hasn't had bad coaches.
He hasn't had bad coaches. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you said?
He was drafted by Pat Shermer. Pat Shermer is not a bad offensive coach. He's a terrible head coach.
Right. What I'm saying is, I just don't think he's had the coaching that can get through to him, where it's like, I need you to take care of the ball. I need you to, be able to discern when is it okay to take a sack, when you're taking a sack, to protect the ball.
Mm-hmm.
There's a stat. I'm not going to say it just yet because I don't want to jinx it. But there's a stat. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say it until after the Super Bowl. But there are certain things where it's just like, okay, when it's okay to take a sack. You don't have to force that throw, because at least you get us the ball. But also, Daniel Jones fumbles a lot. So when you're getting sacked, what do you need to do? protect the ball.
Okay.
When you're moving around in the pocket, he may not have had bad offensive coaches, but there are some things where that even a good coach may oversee, where it's like you need to teach him technique. You need to teach it's like you need to break him down almost and build back up. And that's what I think, because like that's what I thought needed to happen with Jameis. I think like after that year with Jameis, I thought being with Sean Payton would help, because
Yeah.
I felt Sean Payton would break him down
Mhm.
and build him back up to where the reason why you were a number one draft pick, the reason why you were a first round draft pick is still in there.
Yeah.
But I need to scope you and mold you to an NFL, like an NFL quarterback now.
And I think and like I said, I think Brian Daboll can do that. I think he can fix him. I think he has a year. But they got to pick up his fifth year option.
Yeah,
I don't think he's.
you
I don't
have to give
think
him a
Daniel
chance.
Jones.
You have to give
I
him
don't
that.
think Daniel. Yeah, I don't think Daniel Jones is mentally tough to go out there as a lame duck, as a thinking it. Yeah, because they have the franchise tag, transition tag. They have other ways to making sure you stay there. But I think he's mentally, not tough enough. I think he needs that security. Like, you know what? They do kind of believe in me. Let's go. Let me show them why I was drafted, 6th overall. I like the hire.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
like
like
the
this.
hire. Do I really believe in Daniel Jones? Hell no. But I do believe in Brian Daboll, so I'm giving him a chance. So
Yeah, and like we've talked about personally, we've seen some of the things that Brian Daboll has done. We've seen, because remember we've seen Josh Allen overthrow a wide open man in the end zone and the ball lands 3 rows into the stands.
yeah.
So it's definitely some things in there that he can work with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can it be harnessed?
That's all. That's all. You're supposed to be a smart dude. You went to Duke anyway. But somebody that was posed to, not say posed to get that job, but somebody that thought that they were going to get that job and that was going to be, a great story. A guy, from New York going back home. Brian Flores really thought he was going to get the job. And let's go ahead and get just touching that Brian Flores situation while we got some time left.
Man,
He's suing the NFL.
yeah,
Brian Flores
Brian
is suing
Flores
the NFL.
is suing the NFL. He's filing a suit for
Let's talk about it.
So what I do want to say is, to me, it's going to be hard to prove that everything that he's saying is true, but I wholeheartedly believe that there's tons of merit in everything that he's saying. And the NFL, of course, came out and said, his claims lacked merit, they were baseless, and all of that bullshit, which is unequivocally false, because guess what? For years, every single hiring cycle, we've been like, yo, why aren't these coaches, like, you can't tell me that all of these black coaches are not qualified. They always get in, and then when they do, it's a job that ain't nobody trying to take.
Mm-hmm.
When David Culley got hired in Houston, what I say? Oh, that's a cleanup job. He finna go in there, clean up, and then move on. Fucking who's the GM over there? Easterby or Casario, one of them two motherfuckers. They said
Both of them.
they said no one could have righted the ship like David Culley.
And they
Come again, say what? Excuse me?
And
What'd you say?
yeah.
He was out there with Davis Mills. Looking decent.
Looking decent. Like, he had his team overachieved, let's be honest.
It's been, speaking of overachieved, let's get back to the task at hand. Brian Flores.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Flores, when he got that job, I remember I was still living in Tampa. I think we might have been on with JDF at the time. And I said, I don't like the hire because he's the cleanup guy. And Cannon told us he can coach. Cannon told us, and I was like, this has nothing to do with his ability.
Yep.
I didn't want him to take that job because I knew the writing was on the wall. And what happened? What happened that first year? They traded away all their assets, acquired all these picks, and I'm like, see, I told you. And what happened? He was still winning, still playing competitive. So it's like it was almost like if you fired him after that year, with bro, you took away Minka Fitzpatrick, you took away who else? They traded who else
It
did
was
they trade?
everybody that was good. Everybody except Xavier Howard. If you was good in Miami, you were traded. I can't remember, but I remember.
Was Larry Tunsil in that trade?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're
Everybody that was good.
yeah.
Everybody that was good.
Everybody that
Not
was
named
good.
Xavier Howard was traded.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like if you fire him after that and he won, like, bro, they were talking about him going winless. He won 5 games.
Tank it. You're supposed to be taking for Tua.
Won 5 games. He got Tua. Stuff comes out. He didn't want Tua. Stuff like that.
Not even. Let's go back to the part that you were supposed to be incentivized. You're supposed to be paid $100K for every loss. Like, let's talk about that. Like, you couldn't. Go ahead.
I really hope that. So, I really hope that he didn't take that money, but I wish that he did, so it could be a paper trail. I wish there was a paper trail where he could be like, and if you think I'm bullshitting, here
you go.
Here we go. And so, and then apparently, there was, a backdoor meeting with Deshaun Watson and stuff like that.
They never wanted to name they didn't want to name the quarterback, but it was clear as day who it was.
It's clear as fucking day because it was only one quarterback that was going to be like, hey, I'm going with B-Flow go.
They kept saying prominent quarterback.
Like, bro, we not stupid. We not stupid.
Go ahead. Wait,
so to me, it's almost like, hey, man, I really do wish that, he could go in there and he could prove these things. But like I said before, he's not. But our guy, Coach Hugh Jackson, is standing behind him. And I really hope that, more black coaches are willing to put their neck out. But it's almost like, to me, it's kind of like, I think it's going to be like the Colin Kaepernick situation. It's like where you have the aspirations in the early stages of continuing to do more. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people standing up. I think you may see a lot of the older, more established and, on the way out kind of guys do it. Honestly, I think if David Culley got some shit he needed to say from what happened in Houston, I think this would be the perfect time, especially with that Houston organization after everything that Bob McNair did. Like, I think you can get some things in there. But once again,
the GM had a headset during the game to hear what they was going, like telling them what to do. Like he didn't trust David Culley enough to let him actually coach. Like he had a headset and it was like, nah, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're going to do. Or I need to hear what you were doing to make sure what you're doing. Now let's be honest. Does that align with? I know he didn't make the allegation, but does that align with what Stephen Ross was incentivizing Flores to do? Can I make that notion or that comparison of seeing what they're doing?
To me, absolutely on two fronts. To me,
okay,
it's like to me it aligns with one thing that Brian Flores was saying, where it's just like, yo, if you want us to be bad, you like, and you're trying to like have some oversight and say, no, we can't do this. For one, it's like, bro, you're not a coach. You like, how you gonna be able to tell me what to do? You may be able to like understand and some football terms and what we're calling and stuff like that because you might be at practice, etc. But if I think that this can work, why are you trying to talk me out of it? I'm supposed to be the coach, right? So to me, that's very fishy. And to me, also, where I think that it's like it goes to is because now you think a black coach again lacks the intelligence or lacks the experience to not have an overseer, to not have that direction, like to not have that trust. I need you in my headset all the time to tell me, nah, we ain't gonna do that. Like,
so, and I think you kind of stole you didn't steal my point, but what I liked about, because I seen him on Get Up today. I seen his segment on Get Up today, and what I liked about it is I like the fact that I'm gonna just say it. I like the fact that he had 2 white lawyers. The fact that I like the fact that, and who's to say that they're really about the cause they just took the check and that's how I want you to lie.
Mhm.
If you're really not genuine, this is how I want you to lie. At least fake it to this extent that I believe that you're with me. But I like the fact that he didn't really say much on Get Up. It was his lawyers more so highlighting the practices of the Rooney Rule. How the fact that most owners really don't care, how the
We've been
NFL don't
saying the
care,
Rooney
and that's
Rule is
how I
so
like.
shitty for
Like
so
I said,
long.
we've been articulating these things, but like I said, the reason why I'm highlighting that I like the fact that his lawyers are white is the fact that we need allies in this point. I understand that Hugh standing up with him. I get it. I respect that you're adding credibility to what Flores is saying, but we need more people to understand the ideologies of what we got going on and what we got going on, and we need more. We need help. And
Right.
I'm just saying.
And I'm when I say I need other coaches to stand up, it's solely based on getting more credibility to the case. Because
Correct.
when it's just one and only one speaks out, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe, but that just might be your experience. And they can be like, oh, well, it wasn't just race, didn't have anything to do with it. We just didn't feel like he was the right candidate. But if
Hmm.
you can add, I think I want to say precedent. I want to say that if you can add not precedent, if you can add more credence to his claims by
Yeah.
showing a trend amongst black coaches, and you don't really have a whole bunch of white coaches that this happens to, then to me, that becomes a racial issue. It becomes racist practices in your
Hmm.
hiring process. And once again, I think that we need to make the hiring process a little bit more public.
But I definitely understand that. I mean, how more public do you want it? We know who's being interviewed.
Of course, but I think to me, if we gonna make this hiring process like, I like what Hugh Jackson said when he was saying, like, if you think my claims are false, we can put it all on the table. So here's what I'm saying. Let's put it all that on the table. Tell us, give us reasons why you didn't hire people. Like,
Okay.
give like when you go out there and say, hey, we didn't hire him because we felt this person did this and we felt this person did this better. They don't have no issue telling us any other time. Like when someone, like if a quarterback is getting replaced, oh, we felt like he did this. We wanted him. We felt like this fit our system. So go ahead,
Hmm.
tell me why you felt that this hire fits your system over this person. Tell me what ideals he didn't bring that you felt this other person brought. And then as the season goes on, and we start seeing like, you sure? Because I seen him do these things before, and the guy that you have right now ain't doing that shit. And my whole thing is when they start offering draft picks, pretty good
Hmm.
draft picks
Hmm.
for hiring minority coaches, and they still not getting hired. I'm like, oh, this shit ain't never gonna change.
That's like I said, they really don't care. But like I said, I think the misconception that people have here is that we're just begging for jobs, we're begging for opportunities. I think what we're asking for a fair opportunity because we're already behind the eight ball. And let me tell you why. Like you said, we already talked about these coaching firms that they already have. So if you already are not included in the coaching firms that these people have, you're already behind the interviewing process. So it was like, how am I even going to get to you if I'm not even in the club of these coaching firms? Dion said he didn't even know these coaching firms existed. And that was after he was already hired at Jackson State. So if Dion doesn't know, a coach has already been coaching. I know he wasn't on the coaching level at the highest level,
But
but
my thing is, he's still
if he
fucking Dion.
yeah. So if he doesn't know that worked for the NFL Network at the time.
Yeah.
So like I said, if he doesn't know about the coaching firm, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people that don't know about the coaching firm. Like we articulated. How about you have a coaching period after the season? Make it everybody's all in one open pool. You don't
Yeah.
have to wait. You don't have to
Teams
penalize
get
the
Super
Chiefs.
Bowl and
Yeah, you don't have to penalize them. Like I said, what about what we asked for, the proposal that we said, you had to be an actual coordinator, special teams, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator for 2 years. Like let's see your resume. Let's see you put your resume on the line. Let's not
because
let's make some changes. Like
and we talk about nepotism a lot, and that's one of the things that happens in the business world where it's just like you have these requirements for
mhm,
jobs, and you can get someone in who doesn't possess those requirements because they know people. Like in your job description, you can say, "Oh, I need 2 years of information technology experience." You may have somebody with 2 years, even 3 years of information technology experience, and they don't know anybody in that company. They don't know anybody that works on this team or is hiring for this role. But you have someone that may be fresh out of college and be like, "Hey, I don't have the 2 years of information technology experience in the real world, but I have my information technology degree from this school, and you went to
mhm,
this school. Give me a shot." And they give you a
mhm.
shot, and you know we don't necessarily have those opportunities for nepotism,
Yeah.
even when it comes to black coaches, because a lot of black coaches don't necessarily have the stability.
Mhm.
Because now it's like I may be a black coach, but I don't necessarily even have the stability. Whereas, like, I want to give my man's a shot, because if it don't work,
We
shit,
both on the
we,
street.
we both on the street, and that don't help us.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like we said before about Mike Tomlin, no, like you've said before about Mike Tomlin, I don't want to take this away from you. He don't really do a whole lot to help, and he's the longest tenured black coach I think ever.
Mhm.
Like, and I understand he's starting to get, like, I think Terrell Austin has the opportunity as the defensive coordinator now,
Yeah.
but that's very few and far in between, when it's been some
It's
guys
been
that's come up
years.
on you and shit. Even like, bro, Hines Ward down at, I think, what, Florida Atlantic with Willie Taggart or some shit like that.
Like, like
Like, give
you
him
know,
a shot. Like, this is one of
it's certain
yours.
it's certain things that could be done, that could be, and like I said, if you just open the plan, if you just make it the equal playing field, like I said, nepotism is real, and I don't think nepotism is ever going to go away. I'm pretty sure, we would implement it. I'm not going to, shy away from that. It's just the fact that if we make it a fair opportunity, then we really we really wouldn't have anything to really complain about if we knew, you know the playing field was was equal, but we know it's not. The funny thing about it, I know the Giants were implemented in some of their hiring practices. They interviewed Flores when they already knew that they already were going to hire Brian Daboll. They went out their way to, let's say, fake it till you make it. If you go to their Instagram page, you can see all the candidates that they hired. I mean, that they interviewed for the GM position. You can see all the candidates that they hired for the head coaching position. A lot of variety. A couple, like they had multiple African Americans that they interviewed for their GM position. They
Hmm.
had multiple African Americans that they interviewed for their head coaching position. But the first rumored report when their job came open was this Bills GM was going to get the job, and he was
And,
going to bring
and
Brian Daboll. You know what
yep,
I'm saying? And at
and
the end of the process, who did they hire? Now,
and
now,
that's
nobody would have figured this out. Nobody would have accused them of doing anything shady without this Brian Flores report. But my whole thing was, can other teams at least fake it like that? Can you at least fake it like that? That
because like you said, we would have never known if Bill Belichick's never, was a 70-year-old man and fucked up the text. But it's
yeah,
like, I understand. Sometimes you have your eyes set on the candidate,
yeah,
but also I don't have enough faith in all of these organizations and their hiring process that they should be able to identify a a candidate like, this is our guy immediately. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
y'all don't hire good enough to just come out and want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all out here constantly rehiring Bro, the Giants just hired Joe Judge, and when they hired Joe Judge, we was looking at them like, who?
Yeah.
We was looking at y'all sideways, and now y'all just identified your coach right now already without giving nobody a fair shot.
I got a question. If you can hurry up, if you can immediately identify a coach, right? Immediately, what you need to hire a firm for? You know what I'm saying? Mind you, you really don't need a hiring firm at all. I understand they can they can fake it like, they don't watch, the mainstream media, they don't watch the shows. Bro, what I always say, I say the media gets you hired, the media gets you paid.
And
You
the
fire
media
your
gets you
coach, right?
fired.
If you fire your coach right then and there, just watch ESPN all day. They can give you some candidates. You know what I'm saying? You give you some candidates. Like it's really not that hard. You don't need a hiring firm to figure this thing out. Like,
And to me, you shouldn't need a hiring firm, and you shouldn't need ESPN
you really
because
shouldn't.
to me, if you are seeing what's going on across the NFL,
They're
and
not watching, bro.
but that's my point. Why not?
Mhm.
Because if you're
This
not
is mhm.
if you're not watching across the NFL, that's how you're gonna just keep pulling people from the Belichick tree because it looked like you're supposed to just be pulling people from the Belichick tree. You're gonna keep pulling people from the Patriots. You're gonna keep pulling people from I'm not gonna say things haven't working, but you're just gonna keep trying to do what you see done everywhere else when instead of looking around and being like,
It's a copycat league.
I think this would be all right. Let me try and do this. You know what I mean? Like
It's a
no one's
copycat league.
gonna be innovative.
The worst part about the Super Bowl is the fact that Sean McVay and Zach Taylor are 36 and 38. That's the worst part of the Super Bowl because now his job's open. I think Kevin O'Connell is one of the front runners for the Vikings job. He's coming from the McVay tree. Remember, everybody, all you had to do was drink some coffee with McVay. You was getting hired.
Zach Taylor.
It's the same. It's the same thing. Like I said,
Yeah.
so it's a copycat league. They're going to go find those guys because the analytics is more prevalent in the league now. More most African American coaches are traditional coaches. They're no more so of they want to talk the X's and O's. They want to talk the leading men. Some of these young football geniuses really are high on the analytics. They can talk the numbers. They can talk their language. And I get it.
But
I
it
do.
comes
I do
sometimes
get
like
it.
the people stuff matters, yo. The people
I
stuff
get
matters.
it.
And you look at Brian Flores and you look what David Culley was doing. Like they
Mhm.
also got the people stuff. They got that team to rally behind them. It's like, yeah, you know the
Yeah.
analytics and stuff like that, but I can get a motherfucker who's been on special teams or who is a fringe NFL player. I can get him to come in, play his fucking hardest, and help me
Mhm.
win 8 games when y'all only think I'm gonna win 2. I'm gonna win 5 games when y'all think I'm gonna go winless. I'm gonna have Davis fucking Mills out here winning some games, upsetting the Chargers and shit.
I just wish. I mean, like I said, I know Flores understood the risk that he was taking. He's still a finalist for the Houston job and the Saints job right now. And he, like I said, he understood and he made him aware of what he was about to do before beforehand. He understands the risk that he's taking. And it's going to take risk. It's going to take somebody to, land on the sword. And I get it. And I mean, somebody had to do it. I do hope from this, as just being, I guess, dumb hopeful, change will come. I do hope that more practices are implemented, more things are implemented, more things that they can just open their eyes and be more conscious of what they're doing. Some of these things are not working. And like I said, you know, it's more people paying their dues. I'm not just saying, all right, boom, just because he's black, hire him. It's just let's make everybody go through the same hoops and
Bro,
loops. You know what I'm saying?
my thing is black people, we ain't saying just give us jobs. We're not just asking for no fucking handouts.
No, not at all.
We 100% know, bro, it's more than just one qualified black coach in the NFL. Mike Tomlin is not the only qualified coach to be in the NFL. Mike Tomlin
Correct.
is not the only, person who could lead a team like he does. We've literally seen it. We've literally seen Brian Flores, lead teams. We've literally seen these coaches get pushed out for, like, a white coach because he's good with the quarterback, or we just wanted to move in a different direction. We've seen it, but we've seen it with Tony Dungy get pushed out for John Gruden because they needed a new voice. And I'm not saying that necessarily was something that didn't work, because he did, but
Yeah.
John Gruden got so much credit off of winning with that Tony Dungy team that he was able to get a 10-year, $100 million contract with the Raiders off of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We've seen Lovie Smith get pushed out as a head coach to take a team to the Super Bowl with Rex fucking Grossman.
Mm-hmm.
Get pushed out early in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've seen him go to Tampa, have the number 1 overall pick. Jameis Winston was looking like, okay, he was on the rise. I think they went 7-9 his first year. And he ends up getting pushed out for Dirk Cutter.
Mm-hmm. They couldn't do nothing with him.
Because Dirk Cutter was
The hot name. They didn't want to lose him.
They didn't want to lose him, and he had a good rapport with Jameis, and Lovie Smith was a defensive coach. And then guess what? You ain't got neither one of them now.
And not only do I want the owners. I know the owners are billionaires. They live in their own world. They live in their own mindset. But I wish they would, understand what's going on and get a grasp of really what's going on. But I also need the media to follow suit as well. Like you said, I need the media to be on the same wave that they was on for Robert Saleh from 49ers when they was hyping up the defense. You know what I'm saying? The defense was balling, and definitely did he deserve a job? Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
But what did DeMeco Ryan do with his defense? You know what I'm saying?
And that's
I need that same energy. Hold on. Before I forget it, I was on a roll. Brandon Staley takes over for Wade Phillips. You know what I'm saying? And Wade Phillips, if his time was up, Brandon Staley did a great job with his defense. What did Raheem Morris do with his defense? You know what I'm saying? Can I get the same energy from Raheem Morris? You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying about the media. Like I said, the media gets you hired. So like I said, can I get the same energy? Like you said, y'all, everybody was ready to hype up Dan Quinn. Y'all ready to give Dan Quinn another job. You know what I'm saying? And he did a great job. I'm not taking nothing away from Dan Quinn. I love Dan Quinn. Like you said, I'm so glad he's back. But like I said, what did Todd Bowles do when he went back to Tampa? Did he get that defense back rocking? Did he win the Super Bowl with that defense? Can we get the same thing for Dan Quinn? I mean for Todd Bowles, can we get the same energy for some of these coaches? I mean, the media plays a part in this thing. The media manipulates a lot of people. The media needs to open and be conscious of what they're doing and with the power that they have. They need to do the same thing that we're asking for these coaches. I know they don't have the same exact power because ultimately the owners are making the hiring, they're doing the firing. But the media plays a major part, and they need to be conscious on what they say about some of these coaches and who they prop up and who they try to rah for. I'm done.
Yeah, and they also need to be cognizant of the terms that they use about the certain coaches that they prop up, because saying, like, you hear all the time, Mike Tomlin is a player's coach.
Yeah.
To me, that takes away it takes away some of the ability that he has, and takes away some of, the actual attributes that he brings to a coach. And Mike Tomlin's not a player's coach. What they see is, he's black and he can relate to the players. He's not a player's coach. He's just a good coach, and his players buy in. He doesn't to me, players coaches are the nice guys. To me, Pete Carroll is a player's coach.
Yeah.
I don't see Mike Tomlin as a player's coach, because to me, I see Mike Tomlin as a hard ass disciplinarian kind of coach. But once again, it's because he's black. It's almost like when they talk about quarterbacks. Oh, he's an athlete. He's very mobile, but they don't talk about his processing ability, how smart he is, how he get back there and read an offense. But when it comes to Jimmy G, they don't say, oh, Jimmy G. They don't always talk about Jimmy G's shortcomings. They just say he's a winner. He's a winner guy. He's just his record is going to just set it itself. They said that shit about Tim Tebow, and we all knew that motherfucker was trash. But he just gets on the field and he wins. He's a leader. He's a glue guy. He galvanizes the team. You see what I'm saying? But you don't like it's those words that they use that discredit ability
Mm-hmm.
for some, and then the words that they use to prop up others.
I think as fans, I think we're getting more. We're getting more information. We're getting. I think I want to say we're getting smarter. Some fans are getting smarter. They're
I'm
starting
gonna
to
say
see
some.
yeah, some. Because some fall for it every time too. So it's like, uh, yeah, I can't even say. I can't even give people the credit to say we're getting better. We're starting to understand some of the manipulative ways that the media does, and some of the ways that it's going on. Because I seen some people when Flores got fired, and everybody was hopeful that he'll get another job, and what do we say? Hey, he not getting another job, bro. Like, come on now. And then on top of that, we text you the other day. I text y'all the other day. I said I don't even think he's getting a defensive coordinating job. Like that's how bad. And I didn't even think it was going to get that bad. I'm like he should be a hot defensive coordinator. I said it on the show. I said go take his coordinating job and get your name back popping.
Immediately.
And I said that before. I'm like, I don't even think he'd get a defensive coordinating job. That's how bad it's got. And they'll go out their way to prove a point. You know, like we know we about to wrap it up. We know that Kaepernick could have been a starter for some teams, or at least a backup for plenty teams.
The
But they made it.
Jaguars were a Kaepernick away from being a Super Bowl team. That's all
They
I'm saying.
made it. They made it a conscious effort,
And
to
they were
not
making
to not
a joke
sign him.
out of you. Yeah.
But they started implementing some of the things that he asked for. They started doing some of the different things that he asked for. So I hope that in this proposal, in this class action suit, that they would actually read and keep it real with themselves. Like, you know what, this isn't working. Like no African American has been hired, no minority has been hired since we gave you a prominent third round pick, incentivized this to hire them, and y'all still not doing it. Like
Bro, like
something is not
you
something
know
is
that
not working. You know
like
what we would do with a third round pick?
bro, teams would literally like I would have thought teams would have just been like, hey, at least let's get somebody in the front office. Like we ain't got to put nobody on the field. Just put somebody in the front office so we can get this third round pick, bro. Like just get
and
let's get this pick. And no one's doing it. Bro,
and don't minimize the third round pick, because there's teams that value third round comp picks over over regular over re-signing a prominent
a,
player. So let's
a team that's in the Super Bowl right now.
yeah,
Bro, remember
and
what
my team.
remember what I've told you, like when we be going through the draft, I'd be like, oh, it's the third round. Oh, we're gonna take a linebacker here.
What y'all do?
Like literally,
Linebacker.
it's like
Like
clockwork.
clockwork.
It's
Yeah.
clockwork. When the third round comes, we're gonna take a linebacker, and the Bengals love third round picks. So to me, it's like I know these teams. Like, bro, we've seen Pro Bowl players get traded for a seventh round pick. So I know y'all love a third round pick.
Yeah, like I said, it's a damn shame that we've mastered the comp pick process. Like we understand that how this works because our team prioritize it. So don't
Like,
tell me that a third round pick is not important to you. And like you said, you're still not doing it. And I know
so
some of y'all and some
to
of these
me,
teams
not
are trash at drafting.
and so to me, that shows me not hiring a black man is like keeping a black man out of that position is way more valuable than a third round pick that can actually help you win.
Yeah. So yeah. Y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3 Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3 Man Weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. That's AJ. Cannon will be back next week. This episode 140.
And we'll
And we
never
out.
record this late again because it's after midnight and I am motherfucking tired.
Bruh, you can see it in our eyes that time of year. But we love y'all. Shouts out to the force.
We out.